Hello and welcome to our ninth episode of the Brave Frontier 6-star unit analysis. My name is Treylox and I'm joined by commentators Lance
Hi guys.
and Nova.
Hello.
We'll start off today by talking about Frontier Hunter Season 6. Later in the cast, we will rank the 6-star units. This is an interactive stream, so we would like to encourage the viewers to ask questions at any time. During the ranking process, each caster will rate the unit from 1 to 5 stars, 5 being the best, which is then recorded on the bottom left of your screen. After the ratings are finished, we will let you know if you should summon as a free-to-play player. As we rank the units, you can participate in the voting process as well. Your vote will count as 25% of the overall vote. We're trying out a new way of voting. To vote, we will give you a link in chat, which will then take you to a poll, and that's it. The poll will refresh automatically as we go through each unit. All you have to do is click your ranking. You can also vote by texting the code you see on screen to 22333, or you can tweet the code. Feel free to ask any questions during the stream, and we will try our best to answer them. So, Lance, start us off today by talking about Frontier Hunter.
Hi guys. Okay. So the thing just came up on the screen right now. I guess you guys can vote right now. Okay, I think I started off a little bit too early. So Frontier Hunter happened. I thought it was gonna be easy because a lot of people already reached rank 21. So I was expecting to get rank plus 4, plus 5 quite easily. But unfortunately, Gumi threw out like a lot of rewards, you know. So if you're in top 500, they'll give you additional rewards. So that made a lot of people try harder, and it's tougher now. I think the hardest part about this current Frontier Hunter is the units that we have. We're using units that we had about 1 or 2 seasons ago. So we're using the same units that we had 1 or 2 seasons ago. So it's a little bit harder because, for example, like if we had 6-star Luther and 6-star Zoha, it'll be a lot easier right now. But the thing is, we only have their 5-star form. But compared to Japan, you know, if these units were released, Japan would have their 6-star form, and it would be a lot easier. But unfortunately, we don't have the 6-star form, so we have to use our good old trusty Douglas. And right now, Douglas is just not as strong as the new 6-stars. So we're using weaker units to fight the same season that Japan has. So that makes it a little bit tricky. Instead of having strong crit teams or strong infinite BB teams to like crush Frontier Hunter, we're stuck with playing safer, using tanky teams like Gra and using items like Leguan and Medulus instead of going all out and using you know, like Spark teams or crit teams. So I found out that was a little bit unfortunate for us. So that's been my experience so far. But yeah, so that's what it's been going on. All right, guys.
Well, in my opinion, like this Frontier Hunter, I feel that there are a lot of different squads that you can choose from, and you can still beat Terminus that way. You don't really have to depend on like a crit team or a spark team necessarily. I didn't use a crit leader, and instead I used an Elimo, and that allowed me to finish Terminus for the very first time. Now there
Yay.
are, yeah, there are like a lot of units that most people use, and I'll just name a few like Melchio, Michelle, SGX, Douglas, Philneas, Loden. But then again, I've seen on Pika Heroes stream that he used like I've seen other people use Zelbins, and I've seen him use Renel and Bordabagia, and he still got the leg one reward at the very end. For those of you who just started the game, I would just say just try to grab as many rewards as possible. I know that that sounds simple, but like that's all you have to do. Like you don't have to use your burst frogs on some of the inconsequential units. Nova, what do you think?
Well, for me, this Frontier Hunter, even though it started out rough, I think everybody kind of knew what they were doing. Um, I think a lot of people were able to clear Terminus this time around. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it felt actually a little bit easier than the last one, because a lot of people who didn't have their rainbow leaders, like their 6-star Michelle, 6-star Zeldin, like all of those, I think those really helped a lot to get people like the high scores that they need without having to sacrifice like um, too much like a damage, because each one of those leaders basically has an attack and its support. Um, that's why I probably rated them 5 stars all the way back when we did that unit analysis. And they're still, even though their stats aren't holding up as well, they're still probably carrying a lot of people through this terminus. Overall, though, I think it was like, even though it's still FH6, there's still a lot of competition. I thought it would be easier for me to get like at least +3, but like I have to get on all my orbs, even though I've been sick. But I really want those burst frogs.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was looking at the rankings while I was playing the Terminus. I was like, "Where is Nova?" And Nova was right next to my ranking. I was like, "Oh, nice, caught up." Okay, so you guys want to start on the rankings?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can look at them.
Yeah, as long as there aren't any questions about Frontier Hunter, because it ends, I believe, tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the last day. Okay, let's start off today with the 6-star Ramna. Okay, Nova, what are your thoughts on her?
So for me, looking at Ramna, you'd obviously have to compare it to Farlon. Last time I gave Farlon 5 stars because he had really fast BB fill. He generates a pretty high amount of battle crystals at 24 max. Now that we know all the stuff about like BC generation and like percentage and stuff like that, so you can look at units and compare them easily. So in terms of battle crystal generation, Rama's not too bad either, at 21, because every time she hits, even though it's 7 times, she can maximum generation is 21. So for every hit, she can max out at 3. So when you compare Farlon and Ramna, obviously Farlon would beat Ramna in that case, but she still holds up pretty well. Looking at her leader skill, though, I'd still say that Farlon is superior with 65% attack. The one thing that Ramna has going for her is her defense boost, but I think it's the lowest defense boost out of like any units at 60%. Even comparing it to Leoron, which has 3 buffs, but he buffs them all at 70%. So, even though her Super Brave Burst does give extra fire damage and high defense buff, I still, well, not really high, but it's a defense buff. I'm probably gonna have to give her a 4, and Guardian is probably my best typing for her because it makes her stats look more reasonable. Though I can see where the argument for Anima would come in.
Ramna for me, let's see. I think that the buffs are the new meta. Like, the buffs that give to your entire squad, and therefore I'm going to rank those units higher. She has solid stats, and in my opinion, she can compete with the top fire units out today, such as Bordabagia, Michelle, and Farlan. Let's see. Compared to Bordabagia, She's weaker in terms of stats and does less Super Brave Burst hits. However, I feel that her Super Brave Burst buffs are more useful because of the attack. The defense. And against Farlon, we know that Farlon's a glass cannon, useful in arena, but with Ramna, you can build a pretty decent mono fire team. I gave Bordabagia 5 stars when he first came out, and I'm going to give Ramna 5 stars as well. And my favorite typing here is Guardian. Okay, Lance.
Ramana. I think the most use for her would be fighting the Lance Vortex. But the thing is, I think almost everyone has defeated the Lance Vortex already, and I think her only job right now is fighting the Lance Vortex. I can't think of any use for her out of the Vortex. Like I wouldn't use her for questing, because I just can't, like her buffs just doesn't impress me, and her stats like it's nice, but it doesn't impress me, and so yeah, like this unit is just a good unit that I would use for the last Vortex. If for some reason I didn't have a crit team and I had her, and I didn't have good units, I would use her to fight the last Vortex. But after that, I'll just leave her in my inventory. So for that reason, since she's not as strong as any of the other units, I think I want to give her a 3-star. I want to give her a 3-star, and then my favorite type for her would be Anima. So.
Oh, how many stars? Sorry.
3 stars. Yeah,
3
I'm like
stars.
really,
Oh
really.
man.
Yeah, I'm really strict this time. I'm sorry. Like I'm just like extra strict this time. Like
I was
I
like,
was
am I hearing this correct? Like 3
no
stars?
no. I was leaning towards 4, but I think I'm go for a 3-star. So I
Okay.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
So how are the viewers doing? I can't really see this.
Oh, it's on the screen right now.
Yeah, 62% 4-star.
4-star.
Oh, okay. So viewers are split in between.
Yeah.
So viewers vote 4 stars. So X Measure says, I rare summoned a Ramna a while back, but I didn't have a use for her. I'll have to agree with you that you
Yeah.
really need
Yeah.
a mono fire team, and not many
Mhm,
people run
yes.
mono teams
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah. Mono fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was running mono fire, I would give a higher, so like maybe 4 or 4.5, but I'm not running mono fire, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Lex, next unit is Raiden.
Okay.
Okay, Lance, what's your take on Raiden?
I think Raiden is a great unit. I'm just gonna say off the bat that I think Raiden is a great unit. That as soon as Gumi release the 6-star version of him, the first thing I'm gonna try is just put him in Frontier Hunter. Like get him in 6-star, max him out, put him in Frontier Hunter, and see how he'll do. Because he has one of the highest spark damage plus in the game at 70%, and he also ignores damage for 2 turns, ignores defense for 2 turns. I mean, so. I think that it's gonna be really interesting seeing how useful he does in Frontier Hunter. So I have a Guardian type, and so I'm gonna max him out and then see how useful he is. I'm gonna try and run a Spark team, and see if I can get more points. But I think Raiden is a great unit. The thing is, his hit count is a little bit low at 7. And then his super rivers is a little bit low at 14, but the thing is he brings like a lot of utility. So since maybe he'll make up for that with his spark damage plus and his defense ignore plus. And this unit has one of the highest boosting leader skill in the game, which is at plus 65%. So that's a unique skill, and I think that even if you don't use them for like Frontier Hunter, I think he's a great unit for use for like mono water. So for example, if you have like a serum team and you might think about putting Raiden as your leader just to see how you'll do. And so I just really like them. I think his stats is great all around. Really balanced stats, and yeah, really balanced stat and great utility. So for Raiden, I want to give him like a 4.5, but since I can't give him a 4.5, I'll give him a 4. And my favorite type for him would be an anima type. But Guardian is also really good. But I'll choose a anima type. So yeah, 4 and anima. All right.
Like Lance said, Raiden, excellent stats. Look at his stats: 1911 attack and defense, over 6k HP. But last week, I said that there are like way too many good water units. And I gave Cygnus a 4 when he first came out. So I'm going to compare Raiden to Cygnus. Raiden does more Brave Burst and Super Brave Burst hits, and in my opinion, his Super Brave Burst buff is better than Cygnus. And like Lance pointed out, he's a great leader that can combo with Saren and Felneus, so you can definitely take like a questing team in. Therefore, in the water tier, I'm looking towards the future of water units. And what do I see? I see a Lucina with a 6-star form, and that doesn't really matter. I see a Fee with a 6-star form, and though Fee is good right now, like when it comes out, it's gonna be like kind of flat, I think. So Raiden, that comes out like right now in September, will get 5 stars from me. And since he has quite a bit of attack, I'm going to choose Breaker as my favorite typing. Nova.
So Raiden for me really stood out with his unique design. I think that's one of the things that people really looked at him for. You know, the double spears that he brings. And looking at his stat, they are impressive. One thing that I'd like to touch on about is that his 7 hits is also generates 21 BC, so that's pretty high. I think that's like average now that we know like all of the battle crystal generation numbers. Like you want to be around 20. 20 is like really good average number to hit. And then his leader skill, I think is useful for a lot of people. I know a lot of people are still running mono Saren teams, and 65% boost to that is certainly helpful, not to mention the spark and ignore defense. So with that combo, like just like 1, maybe 2 Raiden just for the leader skill and the rest Sarens, like I can see a lot of people doing a lot of work with that just through the ignore defense and spark damage boost. By himself, Raiden could probably fit onto a lot of different teams because of his. It's more of like a unique Super Brave Burst to me because it's increasing damage like twice because you increase spark and then like you also ignore defense. It's also like even though we wouldn't really look to put like Raiden in a spark team or a multi-hit team, like I think he'd shine really well there because normally you'd have to bring like ignore defense, and then you'd have to bring a separate spark leader. So with those 2 in 1, I think I'd give Raiden 5 stars as well. For me, just looking at his Super Brave Burst, I think with the more difficult content that's coming out, not just in global, but also in Japan, like they're getting like raid class 4 soon. I think Guardian will be a better typing because you can already ignore the defense and you increase spark damage, so you wouldn't need as much attack. You'd need more survivability, and for me, I always look Guardian for better survivability. So 5 stars and Guardian type.
Okay. Any questions for Raiden? What's her score right now for Raiden?
He's
ton of 5s.
Ton of 5s, yeah, ton of 5s, yeah.
It's 82 to 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
So viewers vote 5 stars. Incredible. So Drathan says 222-22333 isn't sending me anything. Now, Lance, Nova, do you guys get a response back when you vote?
Well, I haven't
Wait,
voted because I don't wanna, because I already voted, but I can do a test vote. Vote for 5.
From when my experience, I tried this yesterday and I didn't get a response back, but I know that my vote counted.
yeah, it counted. Yeah. No, there. I don't think you get a response, but you'll see the thing goes up when you use it. So
Okay. Yeah, it's
yeah,
almost instant. So
yeah. It's really you can vote and then you'll see it go up. Like see, like that. Someone just voted and it just like went up. So
great, great. Okay.
yeah.
Next unit, Ophelia.
So I'm changing the voting for you, Sherlock. So in case you're
Thanks.
wondering, yeah, I'll do it. I'm doing it for you, so you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah, change
Thank
it.
you very much.
Uh-huh.
So Ophelia, if you take a look at her stats, she has better stats than Douglas and Luli. Okay, I'm just generalizing here, but she has better stats. But don't let that confuse you because, stats doesn't really matter on a Douglas since he's used for a Spark team. There are a couple of negatives, okay? In terms of usefulness, I feel that it is similar to a Luli with the damage output. So Luli came out like 2 weeks ago, and now we have an Ophelia. So I don't want really like a duplicate hero. Ophelia has the same type of Super Brave Burst buff as Loden, but it doesn't feel Brave Burst as fast. So, like, it's good, but it's not. That's the kind of thing. In terms of the Earth tier units, I prefer having a Zelbin in Loden instead of using an Ophelia in Loden. So, since he's not, like, top 3, I'm going to give 4 stars and Guardian. Nova?
So for me, Ophelia is kind of one of the last components to my arena team that I've been waiting for quite a bit. And now that we finally have Ophelia, I think that that's like really where she belongs because I've been using the load and lead for quite a bit now, and it's been winning me so much. And one of the especially with the recent like um, 6-star that came out, I think that Ophelia, even though her hits is kind of low and it generates only 14 battle crystals, and you may not look at her like stats and go like, oh, those are like super impressive. Because she does have that higher attack instead of defense, and you wouldn't really find a use for her outside of arena. But like, I'm willing to look past all that and look at Ophelia for like her main like purpose is to do arena. So she does that really well, just like Farlon. So for me, I was tempted to give her 4 stars. And obviously Guardian is my preferred typing on Ophelia because I have a Guardian Ophelia. But I think like ignoring like because there's so many units out that can just like do everything, but it's really hard to find somebody to put in arena. So I'd give her 5 stars just based off of that. And her leader skill is not too bad either, 65% attack to her, and really low CC fill cost too. Because one thing I tried out was having a Tillith lead, and then I'd have units who have SBB only 30 fill. So basically what I do is I Fujin Potion my Tillith, and then I basically have Farlon, Lyra, Melchio, and Ophelia SBB up. And that was like good enough to sustain me like through an entire quest. So I think even though it may not have like the highest damage, it's the low like fill rate that really keeps Ophelia viable.
Okay. Lance, what do you think?
Ophelia is one of the very few characters that I've tried summoning for and I haven't got. And if there's like a unit that I'm trying hard to summon for, it's usually because she's pretty good or she's pretty useful. So I haven't got her yet, but tonight I've been patient. So I've been saving my gems. I've been patient. But right after this unit analysis, I am actually gonna spend about 50 gems and try summon for her because her summon rate up is still up. So if you guys want to see if I can summon her, make sure you guys check out my stream right after this. But
Uh-huh.
Ophelia, I think she's a great unit though. Um, like she's basically the Earth version of Lyra, you know. So like really fast BB fill, and Lyra I wanted to give her a 4.5, but since I couldn't give Lyra a 4.5, I gave it a 4 last time. So this is God Eater Lyra 6-star. So but the thing is, for Ophelia, I'm actually gonna give her a 5-star because, like, while Lyra was she's extremely strong in arena, she's not that strong outside of the arena. So that's the reason why I docked some points off Lyra. But the thing is, Ophelia, even though she might not be the number one Earth unit outside of the arena, she's still useful. You know, you can still put like 5 of her in a group, and she can still do work because you'll have her giving the 65% leader skill, and then you'll have like 5 more of her, just like hitting everything and wrecking everything because the BB feels like so quickly. So for this reason, I'm gonna get Ophelia a 5-star, and my favorite type for her would be Anima because Anima is really versatile. You can use Anima for arena, and it'll be good, and you can use Anima for questing, and it'll be good. So, all right, 5 and Anima.
Gotcha. Okay, so we had a question earlier. What do you think about Breaker Ophelia? Is that, in terms of typing, is that near the middle?
Since I have an Ophelia and it's Guardian, one of the things, assuming you're using Ophelia for like arena, is that I find that you don't need as much attack anymore because you just get so much of it from like a Loden and an Angelic Foil already. What you're actually missing is like defense to survive to the second turn. So I find that Breaker, like, it's kind of more hit and miss. Sure, you'll get your BB up, but your Ophelia is more likely to die when your enemy has a chance to counterattack because Farlon 6-stars out, and a lot of people are running Farlon, and I'm pretty sure Farlon can probably, like, by himself, like, do fatal damage to an Ophelia if it's Breaker. So for me, it's more risky, but you'd get more reward out of it because you'd have higher attack. So I'd say that Breaker Ophelia is still useful, but just like more personal preference at that point.
Yeah, I agree with Nova. Before, I think the most people agreed on that if the unit is an arena unit, you'll like usually Breaker is the best type. But now it doesn't really matter anymore because a lot of these units are getting the 6-stars, and with the 6-stars, they are like hitting really hard now. And if you're using stuff like angelic foils or good leader skills, like you don't really need a Breaker anymore because I don't see it often now where you're hitting a unit and then the unit lives with just like barely any HP. Usually the unit is like like has like around a third of the HP left or they're dead. You don't ever get close to almost. If I had a Breaker, then he would have died. It's not like that anymore. No matter the type, if your unit just Brave Burst, the enemy like will most likely die. So it doesn't really matter that little extra like 200 attacks anymore. But it does matter that your unit can survive the counter attack. So yeah, I think right now, like Noah said, Guardian and Anima, stats that will keep them alive, so they can actually get into the second turn is more useful than that little like extra attack. So yeah. All right.
Got a couple more questions. Here's a question from Hi Mad Senpai. Does Ophelia and Loden SBB stack? No, right? I don't believe so. They're
As
the
far
same?
as I know, it doesn't because I noticed this like when I was running Frontier Hunter. I'm not sure if they changed this or like cleared it up, It was actually a case of I just sat there because I was running 5 elemental leaders, and there were so many buffs. Like I literally had to like wait a full minute to a minute and a half just to scroll through all the buffs, especially because of Melchio. Because Melchio protects you from like all of the status ailments and gives you a life buff on top of that.
Yep.
So one thing I noticed was basically um, after each of the elements got buffed, like I'd see the fire symbol for Michelle, and then I'd see an attack buff after that. Then I'd see like the earth symbol for Zelvin, and then a defense buff after that. And actually, after I think it was SGX, it would come up to attack and defense buffs again. But those were probably because I applied the potions. So those were a separate like icon. I don't think like they stack on top of each other. They're actually separate icons now. So I'm not 100% sure because I haven't had Loden and Ophelia in the same team, but I actually think it might stack. But as far as I know, I don't think it does. It has to be like you'd have to actually like check and verify because they are different like symbols now. So for me, it's like 50-50 because I'm not sure. Because like before, I was like, oh, they don't stack. And like now, I'm like, oh, I'm not sure. Because like Ares Flute, I actually see it stack with like Felnius Battle Crystal buff. So that's how that works.
A question from Mikey Ho. For typing, what does Lord do? Lord gives stats, a little bit of stats to every category. So HP, recovery, attack, defense. It's just like a balance.
So basically, it's
Go
like
ahead.
balance, just like Sherlock said. But basically, when you have like a different type other than Lord, what it does is it gives like a 10 bonus, like a 10% bonus boost to one category, and then lowers another category by 10%. I believe that's around the case, with the exception of Oracle. They made Oracle give like, instead of lowering by 10, I think it lowers by 8 or something like that. That's
Oracle, I think it scales exactly.
It scales now. Okay.
It's exact.
Before it was like just straight up, 10% and then minus 10%. But now they buff Oracle, so I'm not sure the formula for Oracle right now. But basically, if you get a breaker, you get plus 10% attack and you get minus 10% defense, And then if you just get Lord, it's just like balanced all across, and you don't get any plus or negative bonuses. So, yeah.
Yeah, Lord is, I think, the original stats. Like, if you had to just level up a unit, and there were no like typings, that's what the stats of the units like naturally are. And then you throw in types on top of that to make the units varied.
Okay, is everyone ready for the next unit, Gribe?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Lance, why don't you start us off?
Okay. Gribe. I think he's one of the weaker of the entire batch, just because, like right now we don't really know. Like right now the Thunder units right now, they're not really strong. So if you had him, like you can't really form like a strong Thunder team. For example, a lot of us are prepping for the Thunder Showdown, and there's only so many good Thunder units, and so it's really hard to form a good Thunder unit. Like if I were to have Bribe, the main use for him would be probably just to fight Carl. And right now he gets the 6-star form, like Carl's like a free win. You can probably all battle Carl now and win. So, but after Carl, like maybe his next use would be the Thunder Showdown. And after we finish the Thunder Showdown, I don't know like when will be the next time I can use him. So
Selena.
Oh
That's
yeah,
probably the
Selena.
next.
Yeah, the next day. Yeah, but it would be like a long time until Selena, and then yeah, so yeah, but he's really like specific, you know, like you use him and then you put him away, and then when you need again, you pull him out and you use him. His stats is not bad. You know, this guy he's oriented towards like high attack. So like at Draker he goes 24-30, and that's without using any spears. So this guy he can hit really hard, and he also gives a boost to the thunder units. You know, so he gives like buff to thunder units to increase thunder units attack. So this guy he's really great for Thunder team, but the only problem right now is there's no great Thunder units right now. So when I'm saying great Thunder units, I'm talking about units that give you like 28 or 30 hits. You know, there's no Thunder units that can do that. You know, for example, you know, if it's Earth, we have Douglas. You know, if it's Fire, we have Luther coming up. You know, and Dark, we have Elsa coming up. But the thing is, there's no high hitting Thunder unit out yet. So
Yes.
until then, we're gonna have like a hard time building like a strong like Mount Thunder team. So I do see that he's useful. His stats is like skewed towards like attack, his which hurts his defense a little bit. So I think for Gribe, I well the thing is Selena Vortex is still coming up. So and her Sira is awesome. So I think I'm gonna give him a 4 and probably a Guardian type because his defense is like skewed like so like towards attack, and like he has really low defense. So yeah, I'll probably give him a 4. If I could, I would give him 3.5, but I'll give him a 4, and I'll choose Guardian type. All right.
Okay. So when I see Gripe, I think of Renelle. And when I think of Renelle, I think like, well, nothing beats her. Because Renelle has great buffs, extremely balanced stats. So now we look at Gripe. Lance pointed out that he has low defense. And how low? Lower than Rina, lower than Locke, Loden, Rashiel, Amelia, etc., etc. Surprisingly, though, he does have a high hit count. He's at a hit count of 12, so in terms of Thunder units, this is actually very
I
good.
think it's 10.
Oh, is it 10? Okay. It's still pretty good. Oh, kind of. Not
Yeah,
anymore.
10.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, 10.
So against Rina, we first compare their abnormal status effects. Gribe gives probable weakness. Rina gives paralysis or curse. So Rina's wins here. However, what's more important is the buff. Gribe gives attack buff. Rina gives none. So Gribe is better than Rina. Here, I'm going to give him 4 stars and Guardian, just because if you have a Thunder unit, you should just use Renelle. I wouldn't want to use Gribe right now. And Guardian's my type. For the lack of defense, he needs more defense here. So, Nova?
Yeah, so it seems like a lot of people don't know like too much about Gribe, which is why I'm here. So Gribe was one of the very interesting 6-star units I recently looked at. So the thing is, even though he has 10 hits, the maximum amount of battle crystals this guy can make is 30. That's on the high end, because like units like Melchio has the highest at 39, which is 13 times 3. Gribe also has the same multiplier of 3, so it's 10 times 3. And when you look at other Thunder units, I don't think there are too many that reach that high. So for me, like one of the main things that like Thunder units were missing was like a unit that on like regular attack could generate like a decent bit of battle crystals, and Gribe actually fulfilled that. And then the other thing I was looking at, even though his stats like kind of lopsided, is that he does do quite a bit of damage, like even among Thunder units. Like this guy probably has the highest attack out of all of them, and everybody knows that the Thunder Vortex is coming up, so I think he's gonna make an appearance in that whenever it does come out, probably after this Frontier Hunter is over within like a week or two. So for me, like Gribe is actually among the Thunder units at least, for me closer to that like 4.5 range. But then I look at his Super Brave Burst, and then I like weakness isn't the best like status effect, and then attack to Thunder is good, but there a lot of people don't use Mono Thunder because there's a lot of other units that would hit more to give more battle crystals. Even though there are a lot of quite a bit of Thunder units that you would use like Ronald to help the BC generation. So I'd give Gribe a 4 stars as well, and obviously Guardian because he does have too much attack, I think, and not enough defense. The like just the difference is like 800 between attack and defense. Like that's too much, like way too much.
Nova, can you make X Master's dream come true with with a 6-star Alyut and 4 6-star Liliths?
Like I actually don't have Liliths because back when I was summoning for Liliths, I had like 11 of them, and this was before Lilith's 6-star got out. So I was like single like 5 stars, single target, and and I'm thinking about it. It's like okay, like it's coming from like this batch, and at the time like that batch kind of sucked. So I was like, I just like sold them or fused them away. So I had like over like 10 Liliths, but like I kind of regret it because I only had 1 left, and I was able to summon another one. So I don't have 4. I only have 2.
Sorry, X Master. Lance, how did the viewers vote on Gribe?
Oh, I cleared it, but I thought you wrote it down.
Oh, no, sorry.
Did you see Nova? I actually
think
cleared
it was
and got
4
it.
stars.
Yeah,
I believe.
Yeah. It was
We'll ask chat.
pretty big margin. Okay.
Chat?
Yeah, it's probably 4-star.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably 4-star. I thought you wrote it down already, so that's why I went to the next one.
Oh,
so.
no. I usually write down the votes at the very end.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Next unit, Alyut.
Okay, it's 4.
Yeah,
Nova,
right?
what are your thoughts?
So me and Alyut have a little something special. It's doing rare summon pulls. I got this guy, 5-star animal from the gate, and I was like, oh, is this real? Because I think for me, I was fine with either Anima or Guardian. But looking at Alyut now, he's also kind of the same as Gribe in the fact that he has 9 hits, but he generates 3 times that, so maximum amount is 27 battle crystals. The other thing that makes him useful is the 65% attack bonus, and there's a lot of good light units out now, especially with Maxwell coming out probably in the next month. I'd have to take that into consideration as well, because you have Lilith, you have Melchio, you have Leorone, then you'll have Maxwell on top of that. I know a lot of people have Zelhaz, so the Mono Light team, also Tillish, Mono Light team is going to be pretty huge. So basing it off that, I think Alyut, just as a leader, would get 5 stars because I think Light is going to be one of the strongest elements to make a mono team around. And then his BB skill and SBB skill give his BB gives injury, and then he has kind of like a healing effect for his Super Brave Burst, which is like HP and BB increase and fill. So I definitely give Alyut 5 stars actually. As far as typing goes, I think that he has like base and off defense, so I'm actually gonna go with Lance on this one and say that Anima is the best type for him. Like that spread of attack and defense is good enough for me. It's really hard to find that like Lord stats on a unit.
Nova, is this the first unit you've ranked like a different typing other than Guardian?
It is not.
Oh wait, no. I never mind. I remember.
When we did the like super unit analysis, I gave like animas and oracles and even well, I think that was it. I don't think I've ever given breaker yet to a unit, just because
Oh, okay.
I don't like don't like breakers. Completely opposite of what I believe in. So I'd give I think I'd give you Lord to a unit as well.
You
So
said
it's just breaker.
you said more defense is the best defense, right?
Yes.
Okay, Lance, what do you think?
I really like Ute. I remember I got him. I was never lucky enough to get him, but then during Super Stream Sunday with Pika, all the viewers were like, summon, 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 and so I did a summon, and I got a Rainbow Door Ute that was Anima, so I was quite happy about that.
I thought it was Guardian.
Ute. Oh, was he Guardian?
Yeah, because
forgot.
I was on stream with you, and you were like, "Oh, guys, what type is it?" And it's like, "Oh, it's obviously Guardian."
Is it Guardian? Oh, okay. Okay, I don't remember exactly, but it's either Guardian or Anima. Either type is really good on him. Like he's more of a like this guy. He has a really unique skill, which is a BB pill for 3 turns and then over 3 turns, which is pretty unique. Sometimes you just need that little bit extra heal, but you don't want to bring a healer. But so you can bring him along, and this guy he can attack and also heal, so you don't really have to bring a healer along. And just like Noah said, that Mono Light team will be the future with Maxwell coming. So he's probably going to get pretty popular in the future. I think he's good, but I don't think he is that good. Like that you need him with all your team. So I want to give him the 4.5, but since I can't give him the 4.5, I'm gonna give him a 4. And my favorite type for him would be Anima. I just love that high HP, and the thing is, people are saying that, oh, you can always just fix him with the fantasy demons. Like if you have like low something, you can just fix the fantasy demons. But the thing is, if you have a good unit, you're just not gonna upgrade the weak part about that unit. You want to use fantasy demons to upgrade the other stats too, so that in that case, like my unit is gonna have like it's gonna be Anima, have lots of HP, and I'm gonna put even more HP on top of that. So that's my thought about fantasy demons. So yeah, Utes for me is 4-star. I want to give him 4.5, but I can't, so I'll give him 4-star and Anima type.
Yeah, and Tony says hi.
And Tony says hi.
Hi, Pika.
Yeah, he's right behind me. I have a request. Can I let Pika talk about Zephyr, because Pika loves Zephyr, and so I'm gonna let him step in.
Yeah, we can include him after us three.
That's really cool. Yeah, we'll do that.
All I know is he's good for a crit team. Really good for a crit team.
Okay, so what I'm going to say is going to reflect on what Lance just said, but let's compare Aleut to the top 3 light units right now. Leoron, Melkio, and Sodus. So against Melkio wins because of his extremely useful Super Brave Burst. He gives a multi-elemental attack and prevents abnormal status. Melkio wins here. Against Leoron, he wins in terms of buffing. All right, 70% to recovery, defense, and attack. This is great against any kind of squad. And we're comparing this to Aleut's very small BB gauge fill and heal over time. So Leoron wins here. Now against Sodus, he's better in terms of buffs. So he's the better overall unit. So don't get me wrong, like I love his stats, I love Aleut's stats. But I gave Leoron, when he first came out, I gave him a 5. And then Melkio deserves a 5. So
but
I can't give Aleut
a
5 right now. I can't give Aleut a 5. On my spreadsheet, on my little sheet in here, in my notes, I put 4.4545555. So I'm gonna round that to 4. And I'm gonna pick Guardian. The reason I'm picking Guardian here is he has amazing defense. And why not just give him even more defense?
Yes.
So 4 stars Guardian.
Make sure you use the make sure you use your guardian your defense fantasy demons on him. So make sure you keep stacking on top of him.
Well, who knows? It depends on when those come out. We might have a special analysis just for units, like who you give fantasy demons to, something like that.
Lance, how did the viewers do?
All right, so 64% says 5-star. So yeah, 5-star. They really like Ayut, and Ayut is he's pretty. I look at his artwork and it's pretty amazing. This guy, when he first came out in Japan, and they released his 6-star picture, he was actually my wallpaper for like over a week. So he looks amazing, and I have to agree with the viewers that this guy he looks pretty amazing, and that's
Yeah,
why they give him all five.
I've heard you talking about him a lot. Like, I just need a Zephyr. Were you trying to set something like an Ophelia, and you were trying to set for someone else? Oh, Lunaris, right?
Yeah, Lunaris.
And
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I just need those 2 units. But we're done. Okay, so ready for Zephyr, everyone?
Yep. Are you ready?
So this is our final unit of the day. Lance, take it away.
All right. So since I'm home, I'm actually home visiting this weekend. So I'm using Pika Hero's computer because it's like super fast. He just built it a few months ago with all the top end hardware. So I'm using his computer, and since he has a lot of experience with Zephyr, I'm gonna let him rate Zephyr for you guys. So yeah. So here's Pika talking about Zephyr.
10 out of 10. He just looks cool. That's why.
10.
3 out of 5.
10. We can't even vote 10.
All right, I'll
So
put a 10
5 out
down.
of 5?
This will be very lopsided.
You gotta talk about Zephyr too.
All right, so
Hey, Pika, how are you doing today?
I've been pretty good, man.
All right, so I'm curious. How many Zephyrs do you have right now?
I have 3 Zephyrs right now,
Wow.
and sadly, but I say Anima is the best type for me, just because it'd be more balanced that way, I guess. But I don't think his defense is that bad if you get him to Breaker. But I have a Breaker, Dark Warlord Zephyr, and I really like him. And my crit team, he's actually pretty good. But the thing is, he's a Dark type, and there's other units out there to get the defense ignore buff.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if he's gonna be great, but I just like him because he looks cool.
Oh, okay. So are you gonna get you're probably gonna get your Zephyr to 6 stars, right?
I already have him 6 stars. Right when he came out, I took out my phone during class right when he came out,
Okay.
and I evolved him right there.
Sweet. Okay, so 10 stars for Zephyr, and you like Anima. And why do you like Anima? Is it
Just because he's very very balanced. His defense isn't drawn to crap because if he's a breaker, then his defense is pretty bad. But if you have him Anima, then his stats are pretty balanced, and yeah, Anima just sounds like a cooler type too. So.
Oh, gotcha. No, I understand.
I would disagree about evening it out because his recovery drops to 1400. That's kind of low for 6 stars now, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, what Nova said.
Okay, so
all right,
okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Pika.
Oh no, I'm just saying I'm about to head out, so you guys have fun.
So,
All right, well, thanks for ranking this unit. See you later.
Okay, so Pika's heading out right now, but yeah.
Mhm.
So what he means was instead of 10, we'll give him a 5-star. So max out 5-star. And I agree with the 5-star too. So
Wow.
Okay, Zephyr for me. It's honestly hard to say who is the best in this category. Zephyr ignores defense and increases attack of dark units. And we have a Lunaris with abnormal stats prevention. They both have their uses. Lunaris could be a substitute for those of you who don't have a Melchio. And Zephyr, you could use him in a mono dark team. He's good, but I don't think you're going to use him to pair up against Maxwell. I don't know. I really don't know what to rank this guy. It's either a 4 or a 5. Nova, what do you think? Should I rank him a 4 or a 5?
I should actually think it's a 4. And if you want to vote after my reasoning, then that's fine.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll
you can
do
hold
that.
off on your vote.
Okay, I'll vote after you. Go ahead, Nova.
Okay, so one of the things I was talking about was Battle Crystal Generation, and how like Alyut, Gribe, Raiden, and Ramna all have over 20. Gribe and Alyut are near 30. Zephyr has a pretty high hit count at 9, but he only gets 2 Battle Crystals generated, so he's actually one of the lower Battle Crystal generators like Ophelia, because Ophelia doesn't generate as much either, only 14, and Zephyr is 18. Um, I also was like looking at Zephyr when he first came out, and I was like, "Oh man, those stats are like really high, especially like when you put a leg wand on him on Anima, and then you see his insane HP." But another way I look at it is that his BB's like ignore defense. Now that we have like Raiden out too, I don't think BB skills that just like ignore defense really help too much anymore. Because as much as it sounds nice, you'd actually have another. I don't think ignoring defense unless you're doing like metal parades is like the best option anymore. Because even though Zephyr, you'd use him in a Mono Dark team, I don't think Mono Dark is actually like extremely viable anymore, because one of the things they're lacking is a really good healer. And sure, you might say Alice is a good healer, but Alice sucks.
Yeah, Alice stats nowhere.
Because like, no offense to you guys, but just stats wise and like hits wise, like it's just too far of a gap where we're at right now.
Mhm.
Alice could easily die to like a lot of the stuff, like even in Terminus right now, like one turn. So I definitely wouldn't bring in Alice for a healer. And looking at Dark overall, it's like they don't have too much defense. I think the only defense giver is Macris, and so I'd rather get units, that would help the team out more instead of ignoring defense. Like survivability, I put higher than ignoring defense, and then comparing that to Raiden, right? Raiden has Spark and ignore defense, whereas Zephyr is more mono dark oriented with the attack plus to dark. Stats wise, I'm also gonna give Zephyr like one of the weirder like typings, because I'm actually going to say that his best typing is Lord. I'm gonna explain this because a lot of people only use ignore defense for crit teams, so that's the only place I would see Zephyr in, right? So having that plus dark attack and ignore defense would mean that you'd have to have like a decent attack, but you also have decent defense. And I don't think his attack and defense needs to be switched up. And I think his recovery is fine where it is, and his HP is already high enough, so I wouldn't change that. But in terms of like uses and the low BC generation count, I'd actually rate Zephyr like 3.5 or 4. So since we don't have 3.5, I'd give him a 4. Because as much as like he looks cool and his attack animation is awesome, I don't actually see too much use for a Zephyr outside Metal Parade or a crit team, and that worries me a bit.
Okay, so I have reached a decision. There is this unit called SGX, and believe it or not, I've used SGX as a leader, which ignores defense. I've used him in I'll have to say, I tried them in Frontier Hunter. Okay, it was terrible. Like, my team just got blown away. And then I was like, okay, no SGX as leader. So I agree with Nova that I don't really like the defensive Nora buff as much. I can see him being used in crit teams. And I also see that chat voted for 5 stars. So I will go with Nova here and go with 4 stars. But here, I'm going to go with Breaker. Because he has Ignore defense, might as well just give him more attack to burst people down.
Yeah, and I didn't get to talk about him that much because Pico was taking over for me. But
Yeah.
just to add in a few things, if you look at Ushi's video, like when he wants to do the max damage possible, he usually brings in a Zephyr, and Zephyr is for just that nice defense ignore buff. And so, like Nova said earlier, that if you're going to bring in Zephyr, you're probably going to bring in a crit team. And I think right now is, if you're going to bring him in a crit team, he's still really useful. Maybe not right this minute, but I'm not talking about right this minute, but in the future, when Elsa gets released, she's going to have the 30 hit AoE. And for example, I can totally see like a Zebra lead and then a Maxwell lead, and then you can have a dual SGX. Oh, wait, you don't need dual SGX anymore. So Zebra lead, and then you can have a Maxwell lead, and then you can have Elsa in there, and you can also put in a Zephyr in there. And instead of bring, since you have like almost like a full Modern Dark team, you can actually bring things like Dark Ores and Dark Seals. And this might not be the best way to tackle like raids and stuff, but if you're gonna fight like a boss like Mir or fight any other type of boss, this team is actually really good because the Elzas can give you infinite BB, and so with the Zephyr in your team, you're just allowed to do much more damage when fighting the bosses. So in the future, Mono Dark, I can definitely see this Mono Dark working, but just not right now. So yeah, just not right now. But in the future, I believe Mono Dark still has a shot just because Elsa's out. So Elsa, and yeah, that's it. That's what I want to add. So Trilox,
Yes.
viewers vote 5 stars,
Okay.
64%.
We have a couple of questions here. Here's a question from Drathon. Out of all the Guardians, so the 12,
All 12.
all 12, which one defeats the gods?
There's a storm coming by. I feel it.
Okay, my vote is for Raiden.
I feel the storm.
Raiden? Yeah,
Mhm.
Raiden's pretty.
There's a tornado.
Well, I don't have access to all the other 12, so.
I'll tell you the other 6. We have
okay.
Sodus, Luli, Rena, Cygnus, Farlon, and Lunaris.
I think a lot of people are going to say Cygnus is going to beat the gods. Of course, Cygnus is going to beat the god, right?
Cygnus
Yeah.
or Raiden, though, but then Raiden, of
Because
course.
water. Like, Cygnus looks like badass enough to beat the gods. Like, come on, let's face it. Like, who else wears like a lion exoskeleton and like a lion aura around themselves? Like, come on. Like, I could get reasons like for best looking guardian. Like, I could see Zephyr, Aliyut, even like Ophelia. Well, actually, like now that I think about it, like a lot of these units are designed really well.
Yeah,
Even
they have
Sodus.
they have like really nice like attack really nice sprites. You know those nice
Yeah.
particles. Yeah, there we go. They have really nice particles that swirl around them. Like especially for Ophelia and Zephyr. Like it has those really nice particles effect that goes around their sprites, which looks really cool. So yeah. So yeah.
Definitely one of the flashier sets, the Guardians.
So, Nova, your vote is for Cygnus, right?
Oh, yes.
Lance, what's your vote
Let me see. Favorite unit. I have to stay true to Ophelia. Like I have to stay true to her, and so I'm gonna say Ophelia.
That's okay.
on? Okay.
She has a dragon
Okay.
sword.
Yeah. So Nova understands me. So yeah, I'm gonna say I have to say Ophelia, and I'm gonna try something for right after this unit analysis. So hopefully I get her.
Okay. Here's a question from Grimside69. Would Zephyr's BB stack with dual SGX's leader skill?
It should because leader skills and brave burst always attack. You know, if it's like if it's like two same like brave burst or super brave burst, then it probably won't stack. But if you're leader skill and then a brave burst or super brave burst, it should stack. The only time
Wait. This is ignore defense we're talking about? Because ignore
Yeah,
defense is 100% all the
it's
time.
100%. Yeah, so well,
So it
takes
doesn't
a-
matter.
It's a trick question. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it goes past everything.
Another question from Mikey Ho. So can I use Zephyr or Lava as a ghetto sub if I don't have a dual SGX?
A ghetto what?
Zephyr or Lava as a substitute for a dual SGX.
I think people bring dual SGX for the crit buff, and these two units don't
Yeah.
provide crit buffs. They provide ignore defense buff.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah. When I was talking about the leader, yeah, remember I said I
Clear
failed.
this up with Metal Parade, okay?
Yeah.
So I was running Super
Yeah,
Metal
yeah.
Parade, and I know a lot of Super Metal Parades have been coming out quite a bit. Like every couple of weeks, you get one. So I actually have a special team for that. It's Zephyr, Dilma, Lava. I bring a Douglas and an SGX for just like high hits and generate BC. I switched out the Douglas for a Raquel because I found out Raquel generates a ton of BCs on normal hits, and I actually still use SGX as leader. So the thing is, the ignore defense, like I said before, it's 100%. So once you brave burst, you automatically like get through those metal units defense. So the thing with having an SGX lead is that you only use it when you're metal parading for like round 1. Unless you're gonna use like Fujin potions to like clear those stages, you still want to have that ignore defense on your leader, because that's the only thing you need when you're doing metal parade is ignore defense. Because even crystals, 300 hits is quite a bit. You really can't clear that unless you're ignoring defense if you want to do it quickly.
We have a question from BF Tips. Who has the best Super Brave Burst ignore defense? Zephyr, Raiden, or Dilma?
Or lava.
Or
Lava's
Lava?
I would say off the top of my head, Zapier is really good because it applies like right away. So and the thing about Zapier is his defense ignore. It's at Brave Burst 2. So if you don't have Super Brave Burst, you can use it at Brave Burst and he can still ignore defense. So yeah. But Lava, if Lava's on the list, Lava can only do it when it's shoots Super Brave Burst, so it's harder to do. So yeah, that's why I like Zapier.
Yeah, so I'd actually say probably I'd go with Dilma because he's, even though he hits like less, like we know now that he actually generates quite a bit of battle crystals as well. And he's been that, like, for me he's like the premier like ignore defense just because he has more attack than Zephyr. And when you're going for like crit, like you basically just go all out attack. I think Dilma lives up to that with a higher like battle crystal generation, higher percentage on his BB, and he still ignores defense too. So I'd say Dilma for that. If you're going for like spark, though, I'd say Raiden is definitely better because if you're sparking and ignoring defense, you definitely want that 70% from Raiden.
Now we come to the question, should free-to-play users summon on this batch of units? And the answer that we all gave is no. And why don't we want to summon on this batch of units? Lance?
Like these units are really team specific. Team specific. So if you don't have like the right team for these units, it's really hard to use them. For example, Zephyr is for crit teams or mono dark team, and you really need like a full team to fit them. And same thing as Ophelia. Like you don't really need one Ophelia unless you already have like Firelong, Lyra's, Loden, you know, like a Rainbow Arena team. And so these teams are like really hard to put into like just like any team, and they'll be good. I mean, Raiden, he's great. You know, can put into almost any team, but you're not gonna draw. The chances of you drawing 1 out of 5, like it's hard to recommend a set, but there's only like 1 or 2 good units in there, and these units are, while they're good, they require like a lot of resources to be good. Like they require like a team, and so if you're free to play, I think we would recommend for you to summon units that are good by themselves, you know, and they're not good in like a team. So for like the next set that's coming out, for example, is the highly anticipated Zell Knight batch. So Zell Knight, he's good by himself. You know, you might use him with any team and he'll be fine. Or Darwin Shell, you know, he's good with any team. You know, so for free-to-play players, I think we'll recommend units that are great, and they're great without requiring you to have like a specific team for them. So, all right, guys.
Yeah. So to give my like 2 cents on this, like I actually argued for rare summoning for the Guardian set as a whole, because for me, like even though I would probably I'd see the reason why to wait for like Zell Knight, Darwin Shell, Lily, and Xvel is that those units, like you can put them practically, they'd replace like one of your main squad units, you know. And like rare summoning, you really want to get a unit that you could like either put as a leader or you'll use like all the time. And these are units that you would use a lot, but you wouldn't use them like all the time, right? Because even though like look at our ratings, they're all like 4 stars and higher, and that's pretty good for a set. I think the Guardian set, all 12 of them are pretty good. Some are better than others, that's why there's like a disparity, but like the entire set as a whole, I think for it to get like free to play summon, it has to either be like really good on its own or have huge team like support ability, like with the Lyra set, because you had like Bordebegia, Liron, like Lyra was good for arena, Ronald was really good for team, and Olu is just boss at defense, and then you had like the odd one out, the Golem or Gravion. And the other set that I wish I think a lot of people would want back is actually the Elemental Leader set, because the only odd one out in that set is Tiara. And I think I gave 5 stars for Zelbin, Loden, Michelle, SGX, and Melchio, and I said, guys, like these are gonna be like really huge. And at the time, everybody's like so confused, like why are you giving these 5 stars? And like I'm pretty sure now nobody can argue with me that those units really deserve 5 stars, because like every Frontier Hunter Terminus team I see is like using like one of those to either like do many points for elemental damage or get their buffs, which are like really good.
And here's my 2 cents. In my opinion, the future of Brave Frontier are 2 things: good buffs and rainbow teams. And in this batch, we lack both qualities, and therefore I cannot recommend summoning.
Yeah, I feel like this, if you're summoning for these guys, you already have good rainbow teams. If you have good rainbow teams, you want to like probably strengthen your mono teams for these. This set is like probably the best, probably the last breath to like mono teams. I'm not sure if they'll be coming back, because I know you still have a ton of seals, ton of ores. Might get to see those used when like different content hopefully comes up, where you'll actually need to clear things like specific mono teams instead of relying on the still broken crit team, which nobody has fixed yet.
All right, so we're going to wrap this up. Lance, I think we have another question today for the viewers. Were we going to ask the viewers if they like this way of voting or the older way?
I think so, yeah.
Lance?
Let's
Oh, okay. I was disconnected for a little bit. What was the question?
So we're going to ask the viewers if they like this way of voting or the older way of voting.
Yes, yes.
And we can just have like 2 choices, yes or no.
Okay, that's fine. I'm walking around the house right now, so I can't actually see the screen, but you guys can let me know what they decide.
Yeah, I'll let you.
Okay, Nova, are you changing the question?
Oh, I'm changing it.
Oh, no, I can do it. I
Okay.
can do it.
Yeah. So instead of telling us, you guys can vote. So you have to vote if you like the older way. Using the newer way, maybe you like it. Who knows?
Yeah, it's kind of like Sherlock says, it's kind of like American Idol. So if you like American Idol, there you go. This is the American Idol way.
Okay, vote now. So right now we have 50-50 split. Now, please vote if you know what the older way was. Like if you're a new person who came into the stream, please don't vote in here.
Oh yeah.
The older way was we voted in chat. Okay, and you
Yes.
could see the votes by just typing !vote. But here, you can vote by texting and tweeting as well. Okay, and while you guys are doing this, I'm going to once again talk about the art contest. Right now we have a couple of submissions. Sorry. Okay. Nova got a couple of submissions, so it's better than nothing, but we're looking
Yeah.
for more. So we're extending the contest one more week. So the way to submit art is a very broad concept, okay? You can submit, Sunique is submitting a, what is he submitting? Like a song? Or some sort of music, I think. And we can also have drawings submitted in to one of us by sending us a message on Twitch. And we'll put your art and drawing onto the next unit analysis. And we'll have everyone look at it, and then we will judge who has the best art. Whoever has the best art will get 10 gems. So, let's see. So how are the votes coming? Nova, can you see the votes?
Oh, it's actually really close. I'm
Uh-huh.
seeing a 54% older way and 46% this way.
Wow. Okay.
So that's like a lot closer than I thought it would be. It's basically like 50%.
So, Nova and Lance, do you guys have any announcements to make today?
I'm gonna try summoning for Ophelia, like I said. So if you guys want to see me summon for her, you guys can check out my stream after this. So yeah, just click on my name, or I can actually just write it in here, and watch me summon for Ophelia. So we're gonna use about 50 gems, or whenever I summon for her. And if I get Ophelia, I'm gonna give away 5 gems. So hopefully I can get her, so I can give away 5 gems to you guys. So yeah.
Okay, Nova. Oh, okay, so there's Lance. I was gonna put Lance's Twitch on in chat, but there it is.
Yeah.
Nova, do you have any announcements to make?
I don't really have too much announcements. I just wanted to let people know that I have been sick for like the past 3 days. I'm getting better, which is why I could do the unit analysis tonight. Just wanted to update the people who didn't know about interesting finding that I found a couple of days ago. I'm pretty sure it's still up now, and I'm pretty sure a lot more people have seen it. It's actually regarding probably an update we'll be having in the next week. Is if you go to your town and you head to your spheres. I know nobody heads there anymore, which is why this is more of like a hidden update for most people. You actually can scroll all the way down, and they made me very happy. And the fact that there's like a sphere that gives 330% defense for the first 2 turns. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, am I seeing this? 330% defense increase for 2 turns, and I'm looking at Arena, and I'm going like, man,
Wait, what unit is
this is gonna be broken. It's in the if you go to
It's a
town
sphere.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
and you go to
sphere.
spheres,
Okay.
like
What?
nobody looks at that, and you scroll all the way down,
Wait.
all the way down.
What is this?
It's down there. It's above Mystic Lantern. It's called the Aegis Cloak.
Oh,
And your BB gauge fills faster when obtaining battle crystals. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, are we gonna see full like defense arena teams now? Like that's gonna be legit. Cause this looks like you can craft multiples of this. I'm not sure. And then I look at the sphere above that. There's a shadow cloak. That's where the unit is stealth. I don't know what that means exactly. It's like probably like your unit can't even get attacked.
wow.
So for all
I
of
see
those
it.
people who love running breakers